If you're watching this, you know that sibling relationships are complicated. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepares you for the moment your sister commits an act of calculated, narcissistic cruelty against your 8-year-old child, using something as innocent as a birthday cake as her weapon. My sister, Bethany, has always been the family's golden child, but the events of last Saturday have finally severed that gilded chain. I need to start with the cake, because it was more than just sugar and flour. It was a symbol of hope. My daughter, Lily, turned 8, and she is my sensitive, creative, beautiful little girl. For 6 months, she had been planning her birthday around one central concept, a galaxy cake. We hired Sarah, a local baker who specializes in fondant and airbrush work, 3 months in advance. The cake cost $350, a massive expense, but every penny was worth it to see Lily's face. It was a 3-tiered masterpiece, swirling dark blues, violets, and black shimmer, dusted with edible glitter that looked like constellations, and topped with a tiny, perfect astronaut figure. The flavor was a bright, slightly tart lemon raspberry swirl, a flavor Lily adored. My sister, Bethany, and her 6-year-old son, Liam, were of course invited. Bethany is the quintessential entitled mother. Liam is her highly sensitive genius, which translates to a child whose every minor whim is accommodated at the expense of everyone else's comfort. This pattern of entitlement isn't new. It's the air we've all been breathing for 30 years. Bethany's entire existence has been marked by a belief that the rules, resources, and respect of the world bend to her and, now to Liam. When she got married, she insisted our parents pay for 80% of her wedding, while I, who had a perfectly reasonable, smaller ceremony, was told to be financially responsible. Her son Liam is the next generation of this entitlement. He isn't just picky, he is aggressively entitled. I remember the Thanksgiving 3 years ago when Liam refused to eat the turkey because the skin looked bumpy. Bethany made such a scene that my mother spent 40 minutes making him a microwaved grilled cheese sandwich, while the rest of us ate our holiday dinner cold. This isn't protection. It's an expectation that the world will cater to his every discomfort. This history informed my anxiety about Lily's party. 2 weeks before the event, I was on the phone with my husband, David, reviewing the final checklist. Did you re-hide the breakable figurines? Did we triple-check the allergy labels? I was rattling off. David sighed. Clara, it's a birthday party, not a hostage negotiation. We did everything right. We sent the menu, we accommodated Liam's aversion to dye, with the vanilla cookies. We followed the Bethany strategy. Anticipate, mitigate, and remain calm. The problem with the Bethany strategy, I muttered, is that she always finds a way to move the goalposts. I had sent out the RSVP details weeks prior, explicitly listing the menu and asking about all dietary needs. Bethany, predictable as ever, texted back, Liam only eats plain vanilla, no dyes, no surprises. But honestly, Clara, don't stress over it. He'll just graze. She had an opportunity to accept the vanilla cookies I prepared specifically for her son, but she refused to acknowledge them, which was her way of asserting that she shouldn't have to compromise. I did stress over it. I stressed because I know Bethany. To prevent a guaranteed scene, I went the extra mile. I bought a dozen custom vanilla bean sugar cookies, individually wrapped, and placed them on a designated Liam safe zone plate next to the gift table. My compromise was clear, visible, and generous. The party was, up until that moment, perfect. The house smelled like fresh lemonade and excitement. We had 20 kids running around. Lily was beaming, dressed in her astronaut shirt, and everything was chaotic and joyous. I remember looking at David and sharing a brief, perfect moment of parental pride. We did it. We pulled it off. When David and I carried the galaxy cake out of the pantry, the entire room gasped. It truly was stunning. The baker, Sarah, had included tiny silver dragées that actually looked like distant stars. It was artistic, vibrant, and exactly what Lily had dreamed of. We dimmed the lights. We lit the 8 candles, sang the loudest happy birthday ever, and Lily closed her eyes, making her secret wish with the intensity of a scientist discovering a new planet. I took 30 photos in 30 seconds, capturing her pure, unadulterated joy. A joy Bethany was clearly watching from the periphery, her expression tight. Then came the slicing. Lily got the first, perfect piece. The other children were served, their mouths stained brightly purple and blue, and they were ecstatic. I saw Bethany approach the table as I was cutting the last few pieces. I intercepted her. "Bethany, don't forget Liam's vanilla cookies are right there. He'll love them. They're sugar cookies, exactly what he likes." Bethany waved her hand dismissively, an arrogant gesture I know too well. Her eyes flashed with irritation that I dared to remind her of my preemptive solution. "Don't be ridiculous, Clara. He's family. He deserves a piece of the main cake. It's Lily's party, he should share the experience." She took the knife and cut a slice for Liam herself, deliberately ignoring the available compromise. She handed it to Liam, who immediately started picking at the purple swirls, his face already set in a familiar, fussy mask. He took one tiny, experimental bite. The lemon raspberry flavor, which is bright and distinct, immediately registered as not vanilla. Then the grimace. "Mommy," Liam whined, not loudly but deliberately, looking around to ensure he had an audience. "I don't like it. It's sour. And the color is gross." This was Bethany's cue. She didn't redirect him to the cookie table. She didn't quietly soothe him. She launched her attack. She gasped dramatically, clutching her hand to her chest as if she'd been poisoned. "Oh, my poor little man. You see, Clara? I told you he can't handle these harsh, artificial flavors and dyes. It's completely irresponsible of you to serve something so toxic at a child's party. This is completely unsuitable for consumption." The entire room went silent. The other kids, mouths full of delicious, colorful cake, stopped chewing and stared. David and I exchanged a look of pure dread. Our friend Sarah, not the baker but my best friend, who was standing nearby, put her hand over her mouth. "Bethany," I said through gritted teeth, pushing the designated cookie plate towards her. "It's lemon and raspberry natural flavors. I provided plain vanilla cookies right there. Give him one and stop making a scene. The other 20 children are enjoying it." That didn't satisfy her need for drama. Bethany needed to prove her point. She needed to establish dominance over my party, over my daughter's special day, and over my choice of flavor. She needed to demonstrate that her son's preference dictated the entire reality of the room. This wasn't about Liam, it was about tearing me down in front of everyone. She took the small plate of cake Liam hadn't finished and tossed it onto the table, where it slid and left a smear of purple frosting. Then, in a moment that felt like slow-motion sabotage, she marched toward the main cake platter, where the beautiful, intact upper two tiers, the bulk of the $350 art piece, easily 3 pounds of pure art, remained. The large, red, newly purchased kitchen trash can was sitting right next to the island, waiting for party debris. My internal monologue screamed, "No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't dare. If it's not safe for my son," she announced in a loud, performative voice, looking directly at the parents who were trying to gather their children. "It's not safe for any child. I am protecting these children from your negligence, Clara." She grabbed the platter. Guests gasped. I moved forward, a guttural sound of denial escaping my throat, but I wasn't fast enough. With a sharp, sickening movement, Bethany threw the remainder of the galaxy cake into the trash can. The air went still, save for the horrible thud of the heavy cake hitting the bottom of the plastic bag. I could see the majestic purple and blue layers collapse into a mound of soiled frosting and raspberry filling. The tiny astronaut figurine rolling off the side, and landing in a mess of spilled juice boxes and paper plates. It was total annihilation. The sound that followed wasn't just crying. It was Lily's heart-wrenching, chest-heaving wail. She wasn't throwing a tantrum. She was experiencing pure, crushing devastation. The symbol of her 8 years of joy lay ruined in the garbage because her cousin didn't like the fruit-flavored filling. I scooped Lily up instantly, my own body rigid with a level of cold, clear fury I had never known. I didn't say a word. I carried my hysterical daughter upstairs to our bedroom, rocking her and whispering apologies for the monster we called Aunt Bethany. David followed, whispering to me, "Stay upstairs. I'll handle the guests." When I came back downstairs 10 minutes later, the party was dissolving. Parents were rushing to leave, murmuring embarrassed apologies. Bethany was standing by the trash can, looking oddly victorious, dusting off her hands. Liam was happily eating one of the vanilla cookies I had provided, completely oblivious to the trauma he had caused. "Well," she said, completely unremorseful, meeting my eyes with a smug glint. "I saved those kids from consuming that junk. You really should know better than to use industrial food dyes, Clara. You're lucky I was here to intervene." I walked up to her, and I think the pure, surgical coldness of my voice terrified her more than any scream. My jaw was locked so tight my teeth hurt. "You threw my daughter's birthday cake in the trash because your son is a brat and you are a narcissistic fool. That cake cost $350, Bethany. That is irrelevant. More importantly, it was the focal point of my daughter's 8th birthday. You have ruined a core memory, and you did it deliberately." I stepped closer to the trash can. "You claim this was unsuitable for consumption. You claim this was toxic." I looked her dead in the eye. "It was the perfect lemon raspberry cake. Your son simply wanted vanilla, which I provided. You chose, deliberately, to destroy a symbol of happiness because you couldn't stand not being the center of attention." I didn't yell. I didn't swear. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, and took a flash photo of the destroyed galaxy cake, lying ignominiously among the remnants of the party. The flash illuminated the mangled astronaut figure. "You will never, ever be welcome in this house again," I stated, the words final, flat, and absolute. "And neither will Liam. Ever. You are cut out of my life, Bethany. Permanently. Get out." She tried to argue, her voice rising in outrage. "You are overreacting. I'm your sister. Mom and Dad will hear about this. You are making a huge mistake over a piece of pastry." She even reached into the trash can, attempting to pull out the mangled cake. "See? It's just cake. Why are you so dramatic?" I yanked the trash can away from her. "Don't touch my trash. The only mistake I made was believing you possessed a shred of human decency." I said, "Get out." David, my husband, who was still speechless from shock, gently took her arm and walked her out the front door. The sound of the slam feeling like the closure of an era. The immediate fallout was the family intervention. Within the hour, my phone was ringing off the hook, starting with my mother. "Clara, how could you treat Bethany like that? She was only protecting Liam. He has sensitivities. You humiliated her and kicked her out of your house over a pastry." My mother scolded, her voice laced with her usual protective favor for Bethany. She sounded genuinely distraught, not about Lily, but about Bethany's wounded pride. "Mom," I said, maintaining my terrifying calm, "I just sent you a picture. Look at it. Your favorite daughter took the birthday cake, the main event, $350 of art, and dumped it in the trash in front of the birthday girl and 20 guests. Does that look like protection or emotional terrorism? Do you see the ruined astronaut? The broken dream?" The line went silent for a long, heavy moment. I could hear her breathing. Then, my mother sighed heavily, choosing her side as she always does. "Well, perhaps she overreacted. But you escalated the situation. She's family, Clara. You need to apologize for telling her she's never welcome again. She's your sister. You can't just cut her off." That was my final breaking point. No. I am done. I am done with her entitlement, and I am done with your enabling. You taught her that the worst thing she could do would be met with excuses, and today, she proved she learned that lesson well. You look at that picture, Mom, and you tell me that Bethany's feelings about being asked to leave are more important than my 8-year-old watching her birthday dream destroyed. Until you can see the difference, I need space. Don't call me to defend her again. I hung up. It felt like tearing off a Band-Aid that had been stuck for 30 years. I went completely no contact with Bethany and took a necessary break from my parents. David supported me completely, confirming that he would enforce the ban on Bethany and Liam. The next day, David and I didn't try to replace the galaxy cake. It was irreplaceable. We drove to a small bakery downtown, bought Lily a tiny, perfect, single-serving lemon tart with a small, perfect fondant star on top. We sat on the couch, watching her favorite movie, and let her eat it in peace. We went through the party photos, pointing out how happy she was before the chaos, reinforcing the memory of the joy, not the destruction. We saved the picture of the cake in the trash as a reminder. The price of Bethany's narcissism. That $350 cake wasn't just food. It was a line in the sand. Bethany thought she could walk all over us because she always has. But destroying the symbol of my daughter's happiness was the final, unforgivable straw. It taught me that sometimes protecting your child means removing entire blood relatives from your life, permanently.